video, we're gonna go over the difference between a loosely braided and a condensed braid. So first we're going to do a loose braid. So if I keep my hand position low and I'm really relaxed about my placement, what you'll find is that the braid is really loose, right? And kind of long feeling. I could even make it looser than that, right? If I wanted. There's nothing wrong with this braid. It's not very sturdy, but there's nothing wrong. There's times where you can use this braid really beautifully, especially if you're gonna pull hair through the braid. It's nice to have loops like this because I can easily pull it apart without, then I go like this and it doesn't create any damage or frizz. So I can move this braid around really easily, play with it without it messing up the texture. Yes, so the other thing is when you deconstruct a loose braid like this, when you pull pieces out, the bubbles are gonna be larger, yeah? Because there's more room to travel from here to here. Not only that, but if the client has a lot of layers and you try to deconstruct it like this, there's a chance, it's not gonna happen with this doll head because she doesn't have a lot of layers, but that you're gonna have a lot of pieces flying out because there's just a longer area to travel from here to here, so more chances of pieces peeking out. If that's the look you're going for, then you'll achieve it. If it's not the look you're going for, then it's just gonna look like a mess. So when you pull this one out, if you could see this side, I would pull this out even more. You can see that it's not gonna have as many loops to pull out. It doesn't look bad, it's just a different look. So you kind of just wanna know what you're getting yourself into, yeah? And here's not pulled out and here is pulled out, and you can obviously pull it out as much as you want. You do more than that and just make these really, you know, editorial looking and get really big with it, but it's up to you. Yes, so now the condensed braid, which I was demonstrating before, I'll show you how to do that, not by accident, but on purpose. So when you start the braid, you wanna make sure you're really up nice tight to the hairline. So when I start, I want my hand to be as far up against her nape of her neck and her hairline as possible and cradle it in my hand. Then when I take my sections, I still want to stay up here. I don't want to travel down. And then when I do my hand off, I want to maintain that high position. So I don't want to move low into the hair. Then when I'm doing my sections, I'm just going to do a traditional braid, but it's the same. I want to make sure that when I lay this section over the middle, that I lay it really up tight to the head and really up tight to that next stitch. So every time I lay a stitch, I want to make sure it's right on top of that one, not down here. So right on top of it. Yes, right on top. Right on top. Yes, so I'm keeping the stitches super close together. Yeah. This will create that kind of like fattier, thick, ropey style braid. This might not be good for someone with super fine hair because it could accentuate the fact that they have really fine hair, or really short hair, because what it does is it contracts the hair. So if they already have short hair, you may want to do a loose one. Just play around with it and see what works for you. When we deconstruct these, it's a little harder to deconstruct because they're tighter. So you're definitely going to need to use a little more elbow grease to get these out and loose. So we can deconstruct it, we got to really kind of pull. Another thing that you're going to find is that there's going to be more balloons, right? Because it's a tighter stitch. So every time you do this and it pulls out, there's going to be just more stitches. Better for people with more layers in their hair because it's got that shorter distance. So likely going to keep those layers in. So we can deconstruct this if we want. I'm just going to go through really fast. You can take your time and deconstruct this. I encourage you to make this as big as you can and see what your limits are. Really understand. So if we deconstruct this, you can start to see the difference between the left side and the right side. So really just pulling.